right, it's January 19th, 2019, and Mom and Dad are going to talk about the 1964 Alaska earthquake and then Meredith's birth.
Let me tell first something about
Okay.
Well, when we had the earthquake, that particular day, Daphne wasn't feeling well. And anyway, and in those days too, we only had the TV and the radio, or had the radio to tell us what was going on in the world, and
No TV.
no TV, but just the radio. And they told us that there was an expected after the fire.
See, the earthquake took place in Valdez, down south of Anchorage, and it affected Anchorage very bad. And so the warning that we were getting is tidal wave.
Well, that day when they told us it was a tidal wave that probably would hit Nome, they told us that we really should leave our homes and go to higher ground, which would have been Anvil Mountain, higher ground for us. So anyway, that day, like I said, I had taken Daphne to the doctor, and she wasn't really feeling well. And so when we heard that, it's interesting that we all piled into the car, and the only thing I took for Daphne was a case of 7-Up in case, she might have, upset stomach and stuff. But we didn't take anything else as far as, in case we were there overnight or had to stay there more than one day. I mean, we just didn't. We just got in the car and headed out to Anvil Mountain. And it's interesting how the Eskimos, they would be pulling their things with little sleds, and then other people were in cars and like that. But anyway, we went there and just waited, and
We weren't convinced that the tidal wave could come to Nome because the ice was still solid on the ocean. We're talking 6, 7, 8 feet thick of ice on the ocean. And so I just could not imagine a tidal wave breaking through that for that many miles that it would take to do it. And so we didn't actually leave and go up there with a strong feeling that we were going to have a tidal wave, but we did it out of obedience to the local leaders. So we did go up there, and of course nothing ever happened as far as a tidal wave is concerned. But
and the earthquake didn't hurt us at all either. Everything stayed the way it was. We didn't have any knocked down buildings or things tumbling. It was mostly in Anchorage and the Valdez area down that direction rather than up where we were on the Bering Sea. It was mostly in Anchorage and that area that was hit the most. And it's interesting that it affected mostly the bars and things like that along the strip.
yeah, they sunk.
They kind of sunk.
8, 10 feet deep. They just sunk.
They just kind of, washed
Anything more
off
about
into
Meredith?
And then when at that time Meredith, I was expecting him in April or July or June, and anyway, he did come early, and plus, like Bob says, we were ready to leave Nome. We'd been there 2 years, and he was expected, and so it was only about a week, 2 weeks, or maybe a month when he was born, and then we headed out. But the thing that I remember about Meredith on being a baby is we were on the plane, and everybody had told us that the stewardesses were always very good helpers. They would help me because I had 2 babies and plus something else, and Bob was there and stuff. And anyway, we were on the plane and going to get off, and this stewardess came up to me and she says, "Boy, you sure have your hands full," and didn't say, "May I help you? Can I take this? Can I take you to your seat?" I mean, didn't do a thing. And I thought, well, where is this kindness?
Well, I was taking care of Chad and Todd and Daphne some, but we didn't get very much help from the stewardesses.
To help take care of it. But anyway, Meredith was a very easy delivery also, and he was a small baby, and I can't remember how much he weighed. I can't remember. But all my babies have been under 8 pounds, nothing above that.